Alright, what's going on, everybody? Today I'm gonna do something different with the fuel system with this bike, with the EFR bike. I had to purchase a OEM fuel rail and I want to get excuse me. I want to get away from the aftermarket fuel system, just because I can still stay OEM with the power commander that is coming for this bike. And the PTI setup, that's for the pressure, so it can read boost and stuff. But I had a OEM fuel rail modified yesterday, with each side with a 6AN90 fitting, and that's just for my 6AN fuel feed and return. So it can just be pretty simple, do away with some extra wiring that's unnecessary and ugly. If you can make something nice and neat, just do it. And another reason why, because like I said, this bike's not going to be making a crap ton of power. Maybe 210. Probably up to 250, maybe 260 even. But the fuel injectors I have on here are from a Honda S2000. They are identical. They can push out more fuel. And like I said, it's just a perfect match for the Blackbird, for any kind of power adders like that. The OEM injectors probably would work, but I would be running them at max, almost max capacity. And running something at max capacity all the time is going to be rough on its life. For longevity purposes, the Honda S2000 injectors I had for my other bird, the OG bird. But one thing leads to another, and they didn't get used. So now I have actually a 1700cc Bosch injector on the OG bird, and the whole E85 deal with that. I didn't want that bird to be like that, but it just happened like that. It's just easier to tune ECU setup. We'll get into that whenever I start back working on the OG bird, but for now it's going to be the EFR bird. And if you don't know what EFR is Elton Fish Racing. That's the guy that actually built the original motor for this bike. Supposedly it was a 1200cc motor capable of like 450, 480, maybe even 500 horsepower. Not really sure of the max horsepower, but I'm pretty sure it was built for over 400 horsepower. But yeah, so today I have the Honda S2000 injectors already in the fuel rail. I did grease my O-rings, and also I bought a repair kit for these injectors. They're pretty cheap. You can get them on eBay, Amazon, wherever. And they just come with the O-rings, the lower, the upper, and a little micron filter that goes on the inside. It's really simple to do. I thought it was going to be harder than what it was, but these injectors I tested with a impact battery. It's positive and negative. Touch it one time, if it clicks, you know that at least they're clicking. That's already a 50-50 chance that they're still good if they're clicking. Well, actually more than 50%, but I say that because there's other tests you can run to make sure that your injectors work. They have been setting up for a while. That's the only reason why I tested them with a battery. The solenoids was clicking pretty hard, so that was a good sign that it had still good strength. I'm gonna get on into it. I'm not really going to do a whole time lapse this time, just because I know I've been doing it a lot. And I really need to get like a head mount for the GoPro, or at least a chest mount, and I'll have something coming in shortly for that, so you guys can see everything that I'm having to do up close. But right now this is as close as I can get. The GoPro's on the back of the tail section, and I actually got some things wrong with my boost hoses, and I'm gonna switch those out. This bike was pushing 15 pounds of boost on a stock motor. I've done that 4 times and I caught it. The motor's still fine. Luckily I didn't break anything, but it was only supposed to be pushing 5 pounds of boost. I do believe I got my hoses swapped at the wastegate, so I'm gonna swap those back around. And also this hose right here going to the blow valve was actually supposed to be going to my fuel pressure regulator. I seen it in a video whenever I was editing and I got it wrong, and I'm gonna swap those around. And anything else I can find that I done wrong, I'm gonna try to fix, hopefully. And my valve cover is still leaking like crazy. I gotta fix that thing. The gasket's good, it's not getting a good seal. So I'm gonna try to fix that too while I got everything off. Pollen, God. But yeah, I hate oil leaks. It sucks. Looks nasty. Looks bad. And I don't like oil all over my motor. Or dripping from in front of my bike. Let's get it done. And also, I don't know what EFR done with the wiring system, with the injectors. I haven't really tried them yet, but once I get them unplugged, I'll be able to tell what I can use and what I can't use. Yeah. Sorry. Excuse me. It's always important to mark everything, which I mean, I did mark stuff, but I marked stuff with the same color. Yeah, it didn't make any sense. But I know I marked it wherever I put marks at, stuff needed to go that was marked. Something just ain't adding up here. Something ain't wanting to go in right. My hoses are too short for whatever reason. But it's gonna be okay, cause I'm gonna make it work. But it don't look right. But that's the way it was. Actually, it was like this. Is actually how it was. Have that wrapped around that. And this goes into here. That's how that should be going. Yeah, like I said, I mean, that is pretty tight. I don't understand why that's got to be so tight. Maybe, yeah, I mean, that's a little bit better. It's not as tight. All right. I need to take both of these female fittings off of the fuel reel, the aftermarket fuel reel, so I can take it off and unplug the injectors with the injector harness. Should have put a rag down before I took it off, but that's usually how my mind is. I think about it afterwards. Time to clean up. Alright, pop the injectors loose. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And see, I would have went ahead and took the whole harness out, because I have the other harness and the other ECU to install when the Power Commander 5 gets here next week. But there's other things hooked up. I don't know what it's for. It may be for the Power Commanders that's on here now. And I still want to be able to ride this bike till I do that. Because I still need to make sure that the boost is right. And I don't want to change everything completely, then try to run it. Because I could like really tear something up bad. Mainly the motor, because I've already pushed it a few times over and I didn't know. I just was wondering why it was pulling so hard. Cause like I felt this built motor on 5 pounds of boost versus a stock motor on 5 pounds of boost, and it felt really fast, really powerful. Then I was like, well, let me look at everything. That's another thing I need to do. The boost gauge is right here on the right side, but it's hard to see when you're ducking under the windshield, the windscreen. So you see how I have my air fuel ratio right here on my other 2 bikes. I have a boost gauge and an AFR gauge right here where I can see. So I can't see my boost gauge over here, and that's another reason why I wasn't paying attention to it, because I couldn't see it, and that sucked. So I'm gonna move it to over here where I can see it. The fuel pressure gauge over here I can see really well, but with the brake master cylinder and everything that's over here, I just can't see it in my sight when I'm ducking down. And you definitely don't want to be like setting up when you're getting on this thing, because the force and the wind it'll pull you back. And another thing I don't like about this fuel rail is if I need to take it off, it's kind of hard because it's got Allens in a really tight spot. And with the OEM setup, it has threaded studs sticking straight up, so you just have the nut on the top. Let's see. So on here you just have the 2 nuts on top with the stud sticking out. You take the nuts off and pop the fuel rail up. Simple as that. This right here, like I said, it's a little aggravating. I want to get rid of it. And there's a bunch of crap right here in the way. I don't like it. It's ugly. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, it looks like a good setup, but I just like simple stuff. Simple is always easier and better when it comes to anything. It's got 2 sets. It's got a bottom set of Allens and a top set of Allens. The bottom set holds the stand for the fuel rail, and the top one holds the fuel rail. Either way, it's hard to get to. Good God. That bad boy was on there. Oh yeah. This one's definitely in the tight spot. And the stand on this side for the fuel rail is cracked. So yeah, I definitely want to get that off of there. I don't want to finish breaking it, but I'm gonna get it off. Tight spot. And I need to adjust my fuel pressure because I've been messing with it, trying to get it to run a little bit leaner, because it is pretty rich. 10.0 and the 10.5 on wide open throttle is pretty rich on pump gas. Really needs to be around like no lower than 10.5 or 10, like, I don't know, I guess like 10.5 and up will really be like 11. I think like 11 would be good on the AFR for pump gas. But like I said, I'm not a tuner expert or a tuning expert. I know some stuff. I don't know everything. You can see I'm trying to get this bolt out with a stupid Allen wrench. But that's what tuners is for. And you know what? Maybe one day I'll get into it. I do it a little bit with the OG Bird, but I need to do it a lot, because that's another thing that it's not around here where I'm at. Like, you have to go out and get bikes tuned. You have to travel a little bit, which sucks. But it does make an interesting ride knowing that you're gonna go get your bike tuned. Just the concept of it is fun. Just the anticipation of getting there, then getting that bike on there or whatever, and seeing it rip. And oh yeah, get this. Like I said, this is a stock motor, 8 to 10 pounds of boost. I don't want to go over 10 pounds of boost. Probably not even want to go over 8 pounds of boost. But those were the injectors that was for the built motor. I mean, and really, if it got tuned, probably if it got tuned good with that PC5, I wouldn't even have to swap this out. But like I said, it's the PC5 coming and it connects to an OEM harness. There's been any kind of modification to this harness right here, and it won't work. And I would have to wait for a wiring harness to get here and all this and that. But I've already got it all ordered and just waiting. Just waiting. Jeez, I hope that guy didn't tap and drill and tap the throttle bodies, because that's gonna suck. That means I won't be able to get the original fuel rail on because of the stud threads would be different. God. Let me check. Alright, what's going on? So, last time I was making a video was a couple days ago. So I started taking the fuel system apart, and I thought I had everything, and I don't know what happened, but there's 2 bolts that holds the fuel rail down, and I could not find them, so I had to stop. I looked all day. I looked through everything. I got all my stuff together, put it all in bags, so I knew where all my parts was at, because I have parts in 4 different areas. But it took me the rest of that day to get all my stuff together and look through everything, and I could not find them, so I just wound up ordering another set of bolts to hold the fuel rail down. So here I am now. I cannot finish the fuel system until those bolts come in, but I did get my power commander in today, and I already have the wiring harness for it and the ECU. So this is what I'm gonna be doing today. So there's the ECU, the 3-bar map sensor. Here's my PTI harness connector for the map sensor, and the power commander. So, and it's pretty simple, and it comes with directions for everything, and it just plugs into the fuel injection harness, which is this guy right here. And pretty much just has a ground, looks like a ground, yeah, a ground, and it gets the power from the fuel harness. So that's what I'm gonna be doing today. So, and I already see on this harness, I did have the guy pulled, where is it at? I had a bad, oh yeah, here it is. So right here, the connector on it is tore off, and I have 2 or 3 of these all laying around. So and well, the one on the bike would be perfect, so I'm just going to leave the one that's on the bike now because it's identical. There's nothing different about it. And all this harness right here is for like the coolant temp sensor, and I guess like maybe oil pressure or something. Yeah, I think maybe the oil pressure sensor, and just grounds for like the kickstand and whatnot. Yeah. And those ends are actually a pain in the butt to get off. Like this one right here is a pain in the butt. So yeah, so that's what I'm gonna be doing today. Taking the old harness off, and like I said, it's still tore down from before. I'm just gonna have to take the fairings back off. Whoops. See, but the bolts screw into here, in here, and it locks down with a nut right here and right there. But looks good on it. But yeah, that's my 12 back there. I can't say too much about that yet, cause this is, you know, a build I've been waiting on for a very long time. And yeah, she's stretched to death. But y'all see that soon, hopefully. And I'm just gonna start with taking the fairings back off again, the front cowl back off again. Yeah, pretty much strip it down again. And yeah, that's pretty much gonna be it. Just all the fairings are gonna come back off the front. Like I said, the front nose, the side arm pieces here, and maybe the tail section. You know what? Maybe the tail section don't even need to come off, but maybe not. But yeah. So, and that's the old harness right there. And I do have the old Power Commander and stuff that come off of it. Actually, both Power Commanders that came off of it. Power Commander 3 and a Power Commander 2. And the way it was hooked up was this right here was just controlling the computer, because that's all it was wired up into. And then the Power Commander 3 was wired into the injector harness. So that's all that was. And it does have the factory connectors for the OEM harness for there, and converts it over to a Bosch connector. Yeah, so, well, actually, I'm sorry, my bad. So this right here would plug into the OEM harness, and then since I had Bosch connectors, that was the Bosch adapter. So yeah. All right, so Power Commander with wiring harness, ECU, and Power Commander installed with a PTI harness is what's going to happen today, hopefully. All right, so I got the harness off. It took all in about 10 minutes. But before I put the other harness on, I do need to get the tail section wired in like this. So that's going to take a hot minute. Because I'm going to have to pull the tape back, get the necessary wires that I need for the tail lights and the turn signals to work, and get those labeled back and done just like this. Another thing in this harness, where is it at? Oh yeah, this right here is for the fuel pump. I need to get the fuel pump wires assorted like this to go back onto the aftermarket fuel pump I have. And also there's a wire in here, excuse me, kind of hard with this boot on. Oh good God. But see right there's a crimp connector. So I need to, I don't know if I can take that back off and reuse it. I might be able to. But I need to get something like this so I can connect that wire back for the fuel pressure gauge that I have. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, everything else. And this right here, I was looking at it, I thought maybe it was something I was gonna have to do extra, but I don't know what another person or people were doing with the headlight assembly. But there's a wire right here cut, and what's that? And right there cut. And these two wires are those wires that are cut, and same thing on the other side of the harness. and they just had them where they made them back together. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that. I have to figure out something on the other harness because I have to use the tail light. I'm sorry, not the tail light. I'm gonna have to use the headlight harness for this gauge cluster, which is right here, because the one that I have is for a digital cluster. I was trying to get the digital cluster to go in there, and that would have been nice. That would have been a nice look for this bike. I tried my best. The guy didn't want to come down on the price. He wanted to be a butthole. And like I said, I had the regular gauges on here, nothing special. I wish I could have got the digital dash. That would have been really nice. But yeah, so I got it all tore down. Well, probably gonna wind up taking this off too, so because I have a leaking valve cover gasket, and I tried to fix it one time before, but I really didn't do a good job. And now would probably be a good time to do that since I have some wires out of the way. But yeah, this is what it's gonna be. And give me a little bit of time, and let me get this other wiring harness together and get it installed, and I'll get back with you. Alright, so finally I got the 2003 wiring harness compatible finally with the harness that's on my bike with the aftermarket parts. So here's the headlight harness. It's the 2000 model harness and not the 2003 harness, but I had to put female connectors on it. Okay, and then the 2003 harness, I had to make my connections for my fuel pump. I put red on that one so to indicate that that was the hot wire, and that's ground right there. The tail section wires, I had to cut all of them and number all of them back and put male connectors on those so I could get it to fit my aftermarket tail section. And last but not least, I was able to get the clip off the other harness, this little guy right here, for the fuel pressure gauge. That it does actually come in handy. I would like to see where the fuel pressure is at whenever I'm riding, so if I get down on it and something feels weird or off, I can look at the fuel pressure, and that'd be one less thing I can rule out when I'm riding. But yeah, so now just got to install it. And another good thing about the, I guess it's the 2001 harnessing up, is they all have sections. Well, at least mine does. I don't know about all the other countries and how their harnesses are, but this 2000 model, it's one complete harness. This 2003 harness, it has sections. The fuel connectors has its own section. The headlight assembly has its own headlight connectors. The relays have their own section. So I thought that was pretty cool, because if you have an issue, you can just take the harness off, unplug it, and see what the issue is. Alright guys, so I stayed up till about 4 o'clock last night trying to get this wiring harness put in, fix odds and ends. I took the valve cover gasket back off, tried to get it from not leaking. The other valve cover was kind of beat up. Well, the valve cover and the valve cover gasket was beat up. So I took the old valve cover and gasket off the other engine that wasn't leaking, and I put it on this one. And it sucks putting them things on with the limited amount of room that's in the front of it and the stuff in the way. I took out what I could. So I did get the harness in, and I had to change my connector on my on the fuel tank on the main harness, because it has a 2-plug setup, where the 2000 model I had a 3-plug setup, and also on my 97 model I had the 3-plug setup. So I haven't tested that yet to see if it works, but I pretty much got everything else into place. It looks a little crappy right now, but it's a work in progress. And this is what I got so far. Here's my harness for the PC5 connected into the fuel injector reel right here. This is my 3-bar Bosch map sensor for the PTI setup. And that is this guy right here. Reads boost pressure. That's my harness. Yeah, I got to get everything into place. And there's the power commander. I tell you what, I don't know why, but I'm excited about the Power Commander 5 with the Blackbird. I've been speaking with DynoJet for a few years now on trying to get something done, and they finally was able to get something out to me for this particular setup. I got all my wires and everything for my tail section wired in. Yeah, like I said, everything went together really well. I just have to try to figure out something for my fuel pressure sensor. Well, I shouldn't say sensor, but the gauge that's right here. I'm gonna have to do something off the fuel rail. I'm waiting on my bolts to come in for my fuel rail, which goes right there and right there. And also, I think this is I don't know, some kind of map sensor, whatever that. It was on the tail section of the bike, but the 03 harness did not have this setup. I mean, like, they have a plug-in. I'm pretty sure they have a different setup for the same thing, but I just don't have that. I'm just wondering if that's going to mess with anything. But yeah, for the most part, I got the wiring harness and everything on it. I'm just waiting for the stupid bolts that I lost to come in. I took my plugs out last night while I was doing all of this, and cleaned everything. Oh yeah, and another thing for this sensor, I need to go get me some kind of fitting to get a hose or something clamped onto here so it can read pressure. So I'm gonna try to run it off of this guy right here, but I'm gonna go get a T to screw down in here. And this right here was actually running my adjustable boost, my manual boost controller. And I gotta find those hoses. Oh, here it is. So this guy went to that, and that's where my, I don't know if you can see it, but let's see. No, but anyway, this guy right here is my manual boost controller. So yeah, so now I'm in the process to get that to go get that fitting so I can finish the setup, and get back with you guys. Supposedly My swing arm for this bike was supposed to be coming in today, but I got an email this morning saying that it wasn't going to be in, so I'm a little upset about that. And I was going to take this swing arm off and put it on here and put my new one on here, and that should help out with a lot of things. Wheelies for the main thing, because anybody that knows boosted bikes and stock wheelbase does not get along. So yeah, and whenever that comes in, we'll get that installed and see if we can't get something going. I really would like for these bolts to come in so I can get it crunked and at least run it down the road. Just make sure everything's working right. But yeah, there she is. The wire harness is installed. You know what, while I'm at it, I know I said I was gonna put the bike up for sale for about, you know, $7,500 or $8 grand. Just gonna take and let you see the bike real quick, and I'm gonna do a course. I hadn't started it up any day. Matter of fact, I don't even have the keys. I can get the keys. Got the Corbin seat on it. That clutch cover is going to be coming off. It's going to be going on the OG bike. The lockup, that's pretty much it. I don't know if I may take this off, I might not. It didn't come with it. I put that on there too. Right up. This was already cracked whenever I got it, but it's just cracked a little bit more. LED lights. K&N air filter. I may keep these, I may not. But different front brake rotors. Oh yeah. Boost controller. Manual boost controller. Boost gauge, which in my opinion needs to be moved up where it can actually visibly be seen at all times, like this, like the FR gauge. See how mine's mounted on my OG bike. Air fuel ratio, boost. Much it. I put the motor in it, had the built EFR 1200cc motor in it. The motor did make around 450 something horsepower, I think, on race gas, but that was with previous owners. It does have a clean title. I have the title, but I don't have it switched in my name yet. I do have insurance on the bike. I run the engine ice in it to help keep it cool. Also, another thing, this bearing over here is broke. It wasn't broke whenever I got it, but whenever I tied it down on the trailer, it cracked a little bit. Then whenever I brought it home for the first time and went to Mexico racing my buddies, it pretty much, the wind got up under it where it was cracked at and started breaking it even more, and it just decided he didn't want to be a part of the bike anymore and flew off somewhere. But yeah, it's a good running bike. Like I said, Power Commander 5 setup. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let you see it right now. I even put a seat lock on it because whenever I got it, the seat wasn't locked. There's the tire commander. There's the tire commander. ECU, so you know it's a 2003 or 2001 and up. Got 821 on the end of it. The wiring harness code. Because for whatever reason, if you want to run a Power Commander 5, you have to have a 2001 and up wiring harness. I mean 2001 and up ECU to run a Power Commander 5. I think 99 and 2000, I think they run a Power Commander 3. Whatever is difference in the computer. So yeah. Got everything spliced for the tail light. I meant to get for the tail lights. Everything numbered. This bike runs good. By the way, this is a heavy seat. It's all right. It's all right. See, it feels kind of big when you sit down on it, but I don't know. I just like the original Blackbird seat for it. I don't know, it just feels better for me. Here's the Phantom on my OG bike. That is loud and it's strong fumes. But yeah, y'all really hadn't seen the OG bike. Take this off. Kind of got some different things going on here. This one, no, I run a DW350 IL fuel pump. This is my feed. There's my return. My fuel pressure regulator. My Bosch injectors. Let's see. 1700 cc for E85. And this dash and the wiring harness for everything. I run VW coils. There's wiring harness. Pretty much this whole entire setup come off of Steve's bike setup before he went to the Max ECU. The turbo I bought off of somebody else, one of Steve's friends. But this is Steve's turbo kit. It's a little dirty. Got that from Graham Codling. Also in Canada. Seems like the only help I can get with these bikes is these boys from Canada. So yeah, this bike's, my OG bike's kind of, oh yeah, Here's the arm that I might put on the AFR bike. I don't know yet. This right here, when it get cleaned, CBR XX. But I want to give me some different wheels one day. Three-inch. Yep, that's it, man. I just want to give y'all an update. I start putting some videos together on me installing the wiring harness and the fuel system on the AFR bike, because I put a different fuel rail and injector setup on that bike. Yeah, so that's my update. And appreciate y'all hanging in there with me, and let's get it going. Peace.